We've all had those moments when someone just says something that lands just wrong. That tiny twist in your stomach that makes you question your worth for a split second. It can come from a friend, a partner, or even a stranger online. And in that moment, it feels like they've taken something from you. But here's the truth. When someone tries to make you feel small, they're not actually revealing who they are. They're revealing where your own self-concept still needs strengthening. Reality is a mirror. It doesn't send you random experiences. It reflects what's active within your consciousness. So when a remark stings, it's not a punishment, it's actually feedback. Every interaction is showing you how you see yourself. If someone's comments hurt, it's because somewhere inside there's still a fragment that half believes it. That's not a flaw at all. It's an invitation. It's life saying, look here, this belief is ready to evolve. The empowering part is that this means you're never truly a victim. You're the creator. And when you stop reacting and start observing, you step back into authorship of your experience. Instead of asking, why would they say that to me? You start asking, why did that matter to me? And that question really does change everything.
That's the essence of the mirror principle. Once you realize everything in your world is responding to your dominant vibration, even conflict becomes useful. Every insult or criticism points directly to a frequency that you can now refine. It's tempting to externalize, to say they're projecting their insecurity. But the more advanced truth is that if it reached your awareness, it is something to show you about yourself. The comment couldn't land if it didn't resonate somewhere in your field. When you take it as information rather than offense, you actually move into power. You begin to see that you can either take it personally or take it consciously, and that's the real choice. Because when your self-concept is stable, when you know who you are, people can project all they want, but their energy has nowhere to attach. The insult falls flat because you no longer vibrate at that frequency. This is what energetic sovereignty looks like. You stop trying to control external events and start mastering internal states. The world becomes a mirror you polish, not a battlefield that you fight on.
And the level of self-mastery changes how you move through every interaction. When you truly know who you are, other people's words can't touch you. They might speak, but there's no hook for their energy to cling to. It's like trying to write on glass with chalk, and it just slides off. That's why the strongest protection isn't defense, it's definition. You can't be shaken when you're grounded in self-knowledge. You stop looking for reassurance because you are the reassurance. It's also where real boundaries come from. Boundaries aren't walls, they're frequencies. You don't have to announce them, people simply feel them. When you hold yourself in respect, those who vibrate at that level remain. Those who don't naturally drift away. That's alignment doing its quiet, perfect work. And someone keeps testing those boundaries. That's also data. It shows you where you're still tempted to prove your worth. When you can stay calm and intact and detached instead of reactive, you've unplugged their entire control mechanism.
Non-reaction is a spiritual skill, one of the most advanced, because reacting ties you into the very pattern that you want to transcend. When you refuse to react, the energy loop breaks. Some people may escalate when you stop feeding them energy, but that's temporary. It's the old frequency trying to survive. If you stay steady, it fades on its own. And sometimes humor helps. When you're Not triggered, you can use humor to dissolve tension instantly. Not sarcasm, not cruelty, just lightness. It reminds you that you're not trapped in their narrative. You're creating your own. But knowing when to disengage completely is equally important. And there's a point where silence speaks louder than any witty comeback. Walking away isn't arrogance, it's alignment. It's recognizing that some frequencies no longer match yours. And when you leave without anger, just clarity, your energy comes rushing back. Suddenly there's space again for creativity, inspiration, peace. That's the moment you realize you never lost your power. You just are leading it, lending it to situations unworthy of it.
Exactly. And here's what's really beautiful. When you stop explaining yourself to people who don't see you clearly, the universe starts sending people who do. The moment you stop chasing validation, you start magnetizing resonance. You don't need to fight to be understood. You only need to embody the version of you that already feels whole, because everything outside adjusts to reflect that version. That's the real artistry of conscious creation, not forcing change, but being the change. The insults, the projections, the discomfort, they're just mirrors showing you where you've forgotten your truth. And when you remember, they dissolve. That's how you become untouchable, not by hardening, but by softening into certainty. You stop reacting from fear and start responding from awareness. And then finally, you realize something profound. No one ever had the power to hurt you. They only had the power to reveal where you still believed they could.
When you stop participating in dynamics that drain you, something remarkable happens. Your creative energy returns. That energy was never lost. It was simply entangled in places that didn't serve you. Energetic detachment doesn't mean you stop caring. It means you care more about your peace than about anyone else's approval. It's the moment you realize your emotional involvement is the fuel that keeps certain patterns alive. When you pull that energy back, the pattern dissolves naturally. Attention is creation. Wherever you direct it, reality builds momentum. So when you stop feeding a situation to focus, you're not being passive, you're being deliberate. You're reclaiming authorship over your vibration. You can't be both the healer and the hostage in someone else's story. Detachment doesn't mean coldness, it means clarity. You can still hold compassion for others, but you stop confusing compassion with permission. You allow people to face their own reflections while you tend to yours. That's real spiritual maturity. To love without entangling. To understand without absorbing.
And that clarity changes everything. The moment you stop explaining yourself, defending your choices, or trying to convince anyone of your worth, your energy shifts from proving to being. That's when self-respect becomes your baseline. People who rely on control or drama depend on your reaction to keep the game going. And when you stop reacting, you take away the script. Silence isn't avoidance, it's actually sovereignty. It's your way of saying, I no longer trade peace for participation. You don't have to make grand announcements or public declarations. Just quietly redirect your focus towards what nourishes you. The old dynamics fade away on their own because they can't survive in the absence of your attention. Not everyone who leaves your life is a loss. Sometimes it's allowing clearing space from resonance. The universe rearranges itself to match your new level of self-worth. And when that happens, trust it. You're not being punished, you're being upgraded. Every ending is an initiation into a new frequency. The more you honor that process, the more your reality reflects your growth.
And that leads to one of the most powerful truths of conscious creation. Every relationship is a mirror for self-perception. Some mirrors reflect your brilliance, others reflect where you've forgotten it. Both are equally sacred because both reveal truth. Through contrast, you become clearer about what you value. Painful connections often show you where you once abandoned yourself. Once you recognize that pattern, you no longer need to repeat. You don't have to hate anyone or wish things had been different. Gratitude does the work more efficiently. The quantum field doesn't respond to blame, it responds to recognition. When you see a pattern clearly and bless it for teaching you, it dissolves. That's how timelines shift. The version of you who tolerates disrespect cannot coexist with the version of you who embodies worthiness. The moment you embody the higher self concept, the one who knows they deserve peace, respect, and joy, the external world begins to rearrange itself automatically. The old frequencies can't hold their shape in the presence of new coherence.
That's the quantum mechanics of self-worth. The universe doesn't decide your value, your consciousness does. You are the animating intelligence behind every reflection you see. The more you internalize that, the freer you become. You stop taking things personally because you understand mirror is neutral. It's not mocking you, it's actually educating you. And from that awareness, creation becomes peaceful. You no longer force outcomes, you align with them. You stop performing for validation and start radiating from certainty. That's what living from worthiness feels like. It's quiet confidence without the need for confirmation. And that's when reality becomes effortless. Opportunities begin finding you. People who respect and value you appear without you seeking them. You stop chasing love because you are love. You stop demanding proof of your worth because you finally embody it. Every version of you that once begged, defended, or compromised simply fades. You become the calm center in your universe, directing your energy with precision instead of emotion.
And here's the final insight. When you embody this level of self-concept, dealing with insecurity from others stops being relevant at all. It's not that people stop projecting, it's that their projections can't find purchase in your field. You've risen above that frequency band entirely. You're no longer playing in the same energetic game. You don't need to prove, fix, or explain anything. Your presence does the communicating. This is what sovereignty feels like. Grounded, quiet power. You're not chasing validation or fearing rejection. You understand that anything leading your life is simply energy returning to where it belongs. Nothing real is ever lost. So the next time someone tries to make you feel small, don't defend, don't absorb, don't retreat. Just recognize the mirror. Thank it for showing you where your energy still wanted clarity. And then move forward, wiser and lighter. Because you were never the insecure one. You were always the creator remembering your reflection.
And if today's talk gave you something to reflect on, a shift in how you see yourself or how you respond to the world, then take a moment to let it integrate. And if you'd like to keep exploring this kind of conscious creation work with us, remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so that you're notified whenever we release new talks like this one. You can also share this video with someone who might need that reminder that they're not broken, they're just looking at their own reflection. Thank you so much for spending this time with us. And until next time, keep your frequency clear, your self-concept strong, and your heart steady in the knowing that you are the creator of your reality. I'm a quiet